Yo, what you saying?
Right, so what gave you the idea for this guy called Nick?
Nick, he was Nicola earlier, but he's Nick now. A lot of it really Google searching. We love Halloween. My mum gives me a couple of ideas here and there, but yeah, it's pretty much.
So how have you done it? How have you built that? Because it looks fairly simple, but I can imagine it not being simple. It's not as straightforward as
one might think.
Yeah.
Well, the two main structures down at the bottom here, obviously they was one piece, so I had to put it through the saw, cut it not quite enough, as you can see.
Yeah, but you're not going to see that.
Well, this is true. Yeah, cut it down the middle, and then I got 2 bits of wood, drilled through each side, put some screws in so they didn't tilt. I put 2 in at the top and then 2 in at the bottom because I didn't want this moving around.
Yeah, bit of rigidity.
That's the one. And then from there, I got a bit of wood from out of the shed, found some brackets. There's one on the front and one on the back.
That looks like somebody's homemade shelf that's been cut the wrong size.
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
So his head, that looks obviously quite head-shaped. How have you done that? What is it? Is there a balloon in there?
No, no balloon in there. So I got a polystyrene head. It's a swimming cap head. And what I've done is I've wrapped cling film around the polystyrene head. Then I've used duct taped all the way around the head, across the top. And then I've cut up the back so I could take it off the polystyrene head to reuse it, and then filled it with paper, take back down the back of the head, and then obviously stuck this bit of wood in and stuck it to the wood.
And these just look like soil pipe or underground.
They are
4-inch pipe.
They are soil pipe. So yeah, we got a couple of spare bits floating around on the garden, so I've literally cut this section out for an elbow, like so.
Oh nice, you can have it where you want it.
That's it. Cut it out with a grind. I got 2 screws in to allow the pivot and the movement, and then pushed it in so it was quite tight and sturdy. It's not going to fall out on both sides.
So how's this going to look then when it's done? Because you can see there's obviously a shape of a person.
Yeah, alright. So I bought some starch. We're going to get some sheets, starch for your clothing if you put quite a lot more in than what you need. Chuck some sheets in it and then lay it over, put it where you want it, so it would be like a cloak with a hood.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously across the arms we'll have big bits of draping. So
is this something, you said you did some research, is this something you found on the internet, like a style or a picture?
Kind of. It's got a bit of my own twist on it, because a lot of the things that...
You must have a picture in your head, or have you got a picture on your phone of what you're kind of basing it on?
I have, yeah.
Oh, let's have a look then. Give the viewers something to see.
Right, so this, I don't know if you can... This, yeah. They've used polystyrene heads, but I only have one, and I wanted to reuse it for something else. But this is kind of the finish.
Yeah.
For my Halloween prop.
And there he is, old Nick.
Yes.
Headless Nick with a head. So here he is, finished. What have you got to tell me?
Well, during the process of mixing up the joint filler, because we decided to scrap the idea of starch.
Why?
Because of the size of him, starch, it would have just been far too long-winded, and it had been just too heavy and too long to dry. So we used the joint filler, mixed it up with some water, I put a bit of grey paint in, and then I started firstly by putting this sheet on inside, and I propped it right up into his shoulder blades, let that dry. That took about 6 hours to dry enough to put the top piece on. It took quite a lot of fettling. I'm not.
It looks fantastic.
He's quite good if you. You know, so he's quite
like,
sturdy.
Yeah, it's like concrete.
It's not far off.
And that's what, using this?
Joint filler.
Oh right. What do you do? Just mix that up like cement, just add water?
Yeah, pretty much. I made it the same consistency as pancakes, but he does decide to make this particular prop. When I use the duct tape, the joint filler doesn't stick very well. It crumbles off.
You better use a masking tape or something.
Probably, yeah, something a bit more that'll, you know.
What about the sheets? Is there any tips you can give for that? Or is it basically straightforward? Just dip it in your joint filler and chuck it on?
Well, you dip it in and then you try and wring as much out as you possibly can. I'd advise for the top bit, this was really heavy for 2 people to put it on. I couldn't physically hold it by myself because he's so tall as well. Trying to put it over was a bit of a pain. I used 2 bicycle spokes, poked it into his head up here, which has given these 2 little
oh yeah, like a peak.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's brill, love it. It's going to hopefully scare a lot of little kids at Halloween.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah, I think most of the parents are scared, to be honest, when they come round.
Awesome. So is that the finished effect once you've dipped your sheets?
Well, this one is the finished effect of the joint filler. This one, however, I mixed up first with the grey paint, and I put quite a little bit more grey paint in than I did with this one. So I've just like rubbed what I had left all over the undersheet to try and make it a bit more, match 'em up.
Yeah, it'll look cool at night. You picture him at night with maybe a small light underneath him shining up at him.
It'd be pretty spooky.
He's going to scare a lot of people.
He is. I must admit, we have a pet, and he brushes across here, so it makes it a little bit wobbly. I bought a can of starch spray, so if you just spray it with starch, if they do go a little bit wobbly.
Oh right, it just reinforces it again.
Yeah, that's it.
So there he is. There is Nick.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to 5G. There'll be all sorts of different videos being uploaded. It's not all Halloween based. This is just a particular one due to it being nearly Halloween.
Cool.